Okay, welcome everybody. I am going to take a minute to make sure that people know where we are because had a little issue trying to reconnect in the 14-day manifestation challenge Facebook group, but we're here now on my other page and going live here. All right, so hopefully you are watching this in replay, or if you're coming on here live, we're going to just be talking about and answering any questions surrounding the current 14-day manifestation challenge that started on February 7th. So we're 5 days in. This is only day 5, right? 7th? Yeah. But this is a good time to actually stay 6 because it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we're on day 6. All right, cancel. So facebook.com/ sorry, I didn't do this earlier. I did. And then I had this hope that I was going to be able to connect my StreamYard to Facebook, to just the group. But anyway, here we are. And I will provide some content. But I would love anyone who is watching and interested to, even if you're not doing the challenge, because any question about law of attraction is a good one, or about manifestation in general. So, hi, everybody. February 2025, year of the snake, shedding a skin. Today is actually also a full moon in Leo. And for those of you that don't know or have heard about, I've got a membership group called Empower You. It is it's very affordable. It's very easy. And we've got a nice group of people in there who are part of this community. And we get together 3 times a month, 2 to 3. There's always a group coaching call there. And there's usually a new moon circle and a full moon ceremony. And tonight, Wednesday, February 12th, is a full moon circle in the sign of Leo. And it starts at 5 p.m. Pacific time. If anyone wants to join, I will put the banner up. Let's see, for Empower You, so that you can join us there if you would like. And this has been an interesting challenge for me because I'm also at the same time doing the Radiant Sacred Circle. So we're kind of always focused on, wait, what am I doing? I am giving you Empower You, right? So we're kind of always focused on manifestation at some point. And let's see if I spelled that wrong. Add banner. Yep, that's it. JenniferDanes.com/EU. Empower You. So what I have noticed, and I don't remember, I definitely have a core wound pattern around rebelling. I definitely do. And I'm trying to remember if whether or not, like right now, it's so funny. And I did this. Okay, I did this when I was doing the Body for Life challenge in 1999, and I rebelled against myself. Actually, I rebelled against the ideas that I think people assume that people who are doing a challenge like that should do, like that you're starving yourself and you're living in the gym, and just things that were completely out of balance I didn't agree with. And so I just rebelled, and which I really find interesting. So I'm kind of rebelling right now in my own ways. Let's talk manifestation. So if you're here from the 14-day manifestation challenge, I'd love to know what kind of questions that you have about the practices that we're doing. The podcast that I did last week, which was called The Most Important Manifestation, is a really good and important podcast to listen to because, oh, my glasses are dirty. They're all blue blockers too. They're all blue blockers, period. I don't wear glasses. Yeah. So what's really interesting is people think manifestation is about, it only counts when it's a thing, when it shows up and you say, oh, I got the thing. And you know what, as I'm saying this is good for me to hear today too. Manifestation has to start with the idea. It has to start with the awareness and the clarity and the inspiration or the download. That's a manifestation when you get clear. And because clarity feels really good, because thoughts become things. And so the thing has to be a thought before it's a thing. And when we focus on taking score of what's not in our awareness, like what I have, then you end up decreasing your frequency and vibration because you're saying, well, something's not working. I'm not doing something right. And it's never really about doing something right. It's about reaching for a better feeling. It's about focusing on what you want, not what you don't want. It's about not making stories up in your head and telling people or yourself why you can't have something or why something didn't work out. It's the opposite. It's finding the reasons why it can and living in that possibility. We're about to go into next month, the Big Leap work with the Radiant Sacred Circle. And then in April, we'll do it with the Rewire group. But the general things about upper limiting and Big Leap stuff that I want you to remember is that you have a temperature gauge for what you bring in and what you allow, what you think is what you deserve in terms of love, success, joy, and abundance. And when you hit that upper limit, you sabotage. So the only way we're going to get through to the next level is to learn how to increase that temperature gauge of what we allow in. Otherwise, we keep circling the drain of the things we're already used to. So you get it and you lose it. You get it, then you lose it. How do I become more? How do I change? How do I grow? And when I say change, I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean to say that any part of you is wrong or bad or should feel shame or hold any negative judgment. In fact, I was just thinking about Valentine's Day this Friday because we've already taken a Valentine's Day trip. And by the way, anyone, this is a Q&A. So come on and ask me anything. I'm here for you to support you during this challenge. I want to know what you want to know. I want to talk about what's coming up for you. I want to, dive into everything law of attraction and this 14-day manifestation challenge. So please, maybe I should do that in a post, maybe a banner. Live Q&A about 14-day manifestation challenge. Okay, let's put that up. Ta-da. Okay. All right. So whenever anyone has something you want to ask, please put it in the chat so I can see it and then we can chat about it. And I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you in this. So when I was talking, so we did this pre-Valentine's Day yesterday, Monday and Tuesday, and which was really fun to kind of go away when no one else is going away for Valentine's Day. And we have plans for Friday. And we're going to repeat something I did, like a fun thing I did with some neighbors a couple weeks ago. I overcooked the broccoli. This is a stupid story, but listen. So normally, and I thought about this today, I know people who will, my mother included, or some other people that I know, or family members, or friends, or myself 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. I would have really beaten myself up for overcooking the broccoli. We were using it in a fondue. So I was going to just blanch the broccoli, but I ended up overcooking it. And I was like, okay, it is what it is. I'm a human. I made a mistake. It doesn't matter. And I moved on. And so this week I'm like, okay, I'm not going to overcook the broccoli. But how many of you beat yourself up for stuff like that or feel a sense of shame because you have guests coming and something isn't perfect? It's taken me a little while. I mean, I even burnt Doug and I went in the hot tub 2 weeks ago or whenever it was that we did this Friday night thing. And he never asks to go in the hot tub. So the minute he said, let's go, and I was making gluten-free focaccia and I was making the vegetables. Well, we went into, the focaccia burned a little bit. I mean, it was not burnt, but it was edible, but it was darker than I wanted it to be. Oh, and I made cookies. Right. That was the thing. And I left them in there because I took the opportunity to spend quality time with him someplace I want to go that he doesn't usually go with me. And I burnt some stuff, but everybody ate it. It was fine. Nobody cared. And they thought it was amazing. So again, this is an upper limit of that we beat ourselves up. How can we move past that? So a lot of personal development and self-development is what happens when you're trying to manifest more than you already have. You're going to do the practices, hopefully, to get into a space to receive things. But in order for you to keep the things, you have to live at that place. You can't just do it temporarily. So how do we move into the growth of feeling more joy, feeling more excitement, feeling more whole, accepting and surrendering and appreciating versus always taking score of what we don't have? So this is a Q&A. So if anybody's coming and you want to type into the chat, what I didn't do this time that probably I will do next time would be to collect a bunch of questions I could answer. We did do a welcome party on Friday, and we have sort of the closing parties. There's two of them next Thursday. One's at 10 a.m. Pacific. The other's at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And if you're registered for this challenge, you will get the link to that Zoom call. It's free. And, again, it's just keeping the momentum going. We're building momentum. We want to keep the momentum going. So if you have a question, I'd love to answer it for you. I'd love to know how things are going. I'd love to know what you're manifesting. Are you feeling better? Are you having clarity or ideas? Are you inspired? Are you feeling a sense of comfort? This is me, a sense of comfort or ease for no reason. That's the best. Oh, yeah, I just feel good for no reason. Oh, I have a one like. Okay, but any questions? Anybody want to share or just share something that has happened for you during the 6 days that we've been doing this? Or if this is your second time or third time or 20th time doing this challenge with me, I would love to know more about how it's different for you. How it's different for me is I get to that overachiever status of like, oh, I'm going to do more each time. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do more. I'm just going to do whatever makes sense. I'm going to do whatever feels good. I'm going to do less because the goal isn't to do. The goal is to be. So what do I have to engage myself in? Hey, Angela. Great. Make sure, I guess, if you signed up for the challenge, there are 2 also live group calls that are private, not public. But would love to know if you have any questions, Angela, or about any of the practices. I'm not sure if you did join officially. I mean, I know I saw you at Qigong on Friday, but there's a bunch of different tools that I offer that people do. And coming onto the Facebook group, this is the Facebook group is where we do the accountability every day. And Julie did her taxes before the 15th. Great. That's great. And you got your first refund in decades. That's amazing, Julie. Wow, you're 2 months ahead of the game. That's great. Good for you. And you've definitely, there's no even question about your growth. Anyone that knows you or anyone that's witnessed you in the community knows. Yeah, it is a huge win at manifesting because you took an action that you do normally take, but you changed how you took it. Like it was easier, right? It was easier. Maybe you didn't have resistance. Maybe, your procrastination. I know that's what you talked about today on Marco Polo was your procrastination piece, and you didn't procrastinate. So that's good. I have my Facebook out on my tablet too, just in case somehow I miss somebody's comment or question, but would love to know. Again, let's talk about manifestation. This is it. You got me here. Total pivot. Yeah. Nice. Good. Hey, Jonathan. Okay. For me, it's about surrendering to the process. Now that I understand about raising our vibration and keeping it, my clarity is my impatience with myself, which has been keeping my frequency from raising up and staying up. I feel I need to keep practicing this now to stay in the resonance of a higher frequency. I have a couple of downloads. Oh, that's great. I think to me, that's one of my favorite things is clarity. Because sometimes we're confused or we're waiting for clarity. In fact, I had been sitting here waiting for clarity about my next book. I mean, I didn't have clarity about the title. I have a working title, but it doesn't matter because a week from today, I'm going to have probably the biggest jolt of excitement and clarity ever because I have a meeting with somebody whose work, well, I'll just dish it. I have a meeting with Harville Hendricks and I are, for those of you that have followed me for a while, he's one of my faves. So, and I've created something based on his work and I want to share it with him because he wants to know about it. And I think it's going to get me super excited because he's also a words of affirmation person. And so it becomes the next question of, how do I stretch? I'm going to wait until next week to see how that feels. And if there's anything he wants to offer for me, whether it be advice or direction or, whatever, and I'm going to take it. So that's great. So I'm glad. Yes, it is feel good. So you said I have a couple of downloads for the last couple of days. It's been great. Yeah. Good. I'd love to know what the best practice is. Thank you. I'm very excited about that. I mean, it's not, I was willing to go to Texas. I'm like, I'll come take you to lunch because on our last interview, I shared with them what I did. And he said, well, I want to know about that. And I said, well, I want to share it with you. I think he's going to get very excited. I'm very proud of what I've created. And I don't doubt I'll have his support. So yeah, that feels really good. So what are some of the practices that are working best for you guys? Julie, which one's your favorite? I mean, I know you're pretty good about doing all of them or doing many of them. And John, I'd love to hear whatever your favorite practice is. The Facebook group is there in the 14-day manifestation challenge that you have to register though to get into if you're not already into it, everybody. And that's where you keep accountable. That's where you get to. And honestly, that little bit of accountability will have you do things that you don't feel like doing, which will help create more momentum and break the habits and the patterns that we get into about avoiding things. And I've just been interested watching myself be very rebellious last like 6 weeks. And I'm not quite sure why, but it's okay. I know there's a reason and I feel good about it. And yeah. So anybody have any questions or want to share what their favorite practice is? I mean, I wasn't using so in the Rewire group this year, because we have somebody who needed support around kind of cleaning up stuff because she lives alone and she has piles of stuff. And I thought, okay, in my mastermind for years, I had something called a work blitz, which is where we all get together on Zoom and then we take 30-minute chunks and we go work on stuff, but we keep each other accountable to doing it. And when I'm sitting in this desk, I can never get anything done except be here, except anything that's computer related, but forget like cleaning my office. And so we had all of these work blitzes because of the changing over of the year of the snake and the new moon that happened on that day. When was that? That was February 1st, I believe. Let's see. Anyway, I put up my vision boards on the wall. I have a wall over here that I want to I want to buy some art or a picture. So I didn't want to like put anything with a tack or with a nail. And so I use that sticky stuff. And I just hung up a bunch of things that were sitting on the floor. And now I can stand in front of it and use it like it's meant to be used. Hope in the mirror with positive statements. Oh, I love the work blitz as well. I know. Well, they're just, and we'll do more. We'll do more, Julie. It's just amazing. And I created 2 vision boards. One was relationship oriented and one was more business oriented back in when did I get married? 2006 or 7? 2006. And I used the one and I manifested my partner then very quickly after starting that. And then there was another vision board that I used, but I didn't use it because I kind of like, I got what I wanted from the first one. So I never really used it. So I put that one up on the board. It's old, 2006. But I look at the pictures and I don't necessarily want all of those things the same way, although a lot of them I do have or have had. Oh, I haven't gone to Bora Bora yet. But it's like, I just think they're so fun. And I can quickly click in my body if I stand in front of this picture. So, if you have a vision, if you don't make a board, that's fine. But and then we made another one. We went to Bruce Lipton's honeymoon effect, and I have that one on the board too. Just pick one picture a day, and you got to get it into your body. You have to embody the cellular reaction as if you're living in that moment. You have the thing that you want, and it should send chills up and down your spine, which is when you know you're connected. So that can get. I mean, you don't even. I have an 8-minute guided visualization that I offer when you do the challenge that you can use, but you don't have to use that. You can just, once you do it a couple times, you can quickly click in. As long as you feel it in your body and there's a shift and a change and an elevation, you're good. But I know for me, the vision board always works. So don't ask me why I didn't do it. I'm like everybody else. Life happens and we get out of habit and out of practice. So anybody else have a question or something they want to share about what they manifested? We went on this Valentine's trip, I guess, Monday and Tuesday. And I had a sneaky suspicion that my neighbors, because we bought them some Christmas presents, and I think they were surprised because we haven't really exchanged presents before, but we've spent so much time with them, and there were things that they needed that I wanted to get for them. I'm like, I'm just going to give them a Christmas present. And so I had a sneaky suspicion they were going to treat us to dinner, and they did, and it was a significant steak dinner. So that felt really nice. And then another neighbor came over a couple of weeks ago and asked us about a local restaurant we love and said, I guess she didn't have a good experience. We love it. And she said, well, I'll pay. I'm like, okay. So I'm taking it. I'm like, and Doug was like, no, you don't have to pay. I said, be quiet. Someone's offering to pay for me to go to a very nice dinner that I love. I'm going to say yes. John, I'm loving the dance party. Oh yeah. Dance party. Thank you. Me too. Hello, music every day. Just do it. In the morning, I'm still finding it a tiny bit challenging to get the feeling. I feel it will increase with more practice. I also really enjoyed that clearing recording. It helped me to reconnect with expanding my time and reducing the feeling of urgency. I'm actually good at not feeling urgent, but more so I feel my memory is scrambling a bit with my hormone changes at this stage of life and reconnecting with the concept of expanding time. Hold on. Is there more that I miss? Oh, that's me showing it. Look at that. Oh, I didn't realize I could show that. Hey, I just learned something. All right. Well, I'm going back up. Going to show Angela's first time joining in. That's a cool new feature. I wonder if that's always been there and I just didn't know. And then Julie. Oh, that's very cool. And then Jonalyn's first. Sorry, guys. I'm excited about this feature that I didn't know was here. Yep. Okay. And this is Jonalyn, your last one. Did you have more after you said time? Because I can't click on that. That's why I ended up clicking on it, because I thought it looks like you wrote more, but I can't see it. So there we go with that. So let me speak to that for a second. Yes. Yes, you did write more. Can you copy and paste it? Dance party. Dance party. I was listening to music this morning because my cleaning lady was here. So I did a little dancing, but it wasn't the same kind of dancing. And I would recommend that everybody also make yourself a Spotify playlist, because, and I mean, I have several that are like morning playlists, but there's also like, if you want to get right into the dancing, make a playlist that has the dance music first. We did a song that I was introduced to at a women's retreat called I Release Control, and we sang it at the last event. So a lot of my clients know this song, so they're putting I Release Control. And there's sometimes you're just not going to be belting out if people are in your house with you. so make a playlist based on different kinds of morning routines where you can be by yourself and super loud, or when you're going to go straight into dancing, or when you want to be more meditative. Okay, so Jonalyn, yours said reconnecting with the concept of expanding time and helping you calm down your nervous system and not feel overwhelmed. Yeah. Good. Yeah, I'm sure that's helpful. Not feeling overwhelm in general. Overwhelm is usually because there's too much going on. So I don't know I forget what your sign is, Jonalyn. Are you an air sign or are you an earth sign? And what your moon is. That would help to know how you process emotion or how you process information. Because when we have a lot of air, then, being grounded. Anyway, you're a Pisces. All right. Okay. What's your moon sign? Do you know? I know we had a lot of earth signs who showed up for the welcome party, which was really fascinating to me. And a Scorpio moon. Huh. Okay. Well, I wonder if okay. Well, Scorpio moon and a Leo Sagittarius. Yes, I know yours, Steph. But you didn't say anything else. I know everybody's signs. Do you have a question or a comment or something you're struggling with, Stephanie, so I can help you? It's important that we calm our nervous system. There are 2 ways to heal. Let me say that for you, Steph. Let me remind you. One is that I feel safe. If you do not believe in your body that you feel safe, you will not heal. And that I love myself. Without a shadow of a doubt, love. I feel my love for myself. How can I keep my system calm? By stop telling the stories of what, well, we first have to see what agitates you and if it's the fear. See, this is where something like the journey comes in. I know you've done a few, but when you have, we haven't, it doesn't sound like you've gotten to the place yet in a journey that it's actually changed everything for you. And to me, that's the point of doing it for someone with your situation, is when you literally cross over and you are literally on the other, like you are in non-physical energy, and you have a perspective that is different than your perspective now, then you realize everything it produces peace because you understand the truth. And what we're living right now is our truth because it's all that we know, but it's because most of us can't feel past what this reality, this 3D reality is. We're so enamored of our 3D reality that we forget that we're non-physical beings, and we forget because we haven't actually ever gone to a place in our minds, in our brains, in our hearts, in our bodies, in our awareness, in order to experience. And you can get there in different ways. It doesn't have to always be a journey, but it could be, like a couple day meditation retreat, like Wendy does her 10-day meditation retreat. It could be jumping on, it could be something thrill seeking, something where you put your body, like, I'm thinking of Wendy's jumping off, doing bungee jumping. That's probably not the best idea because you'd probably get super, super nervous at first, but there would be something about the falling, or even something like surfing. Shadow work. What do you mean by shadow work? I know what shadow work is, but it's funny when I'll show someone a core wound and then they'll think shadow work is different than that. I'm like, no, everything comes from your core wounds. Any negative feelings that you have, any ill feelings, any dark feelings still come from a wound and part of your karmic, like working stuff out in this lifetime. And it can be astrological also. You can come in with stuff, right? But how we act in the world, are in the world, allow ourselves in the world, it's really still all about that. So I don't know if I don't know what you mean by shadow work in terms of like diving into it. I'm talking about you doing a frippin' like hero dose journey to get you out of your head, out of your body into the stratosphere. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not shadow work. That's core wound work. Uncover what's under the anger. Yeah. Again, journey, core wound work. Those are both going to uncover what's under the anger. You could try some hypnosis. You could find someone to do some hypnosis with you to uncover kind of deep things about what's going on. But it's a bunch of fear. It's also trauma. It's also trauma response. A lot of people, like, there are a lot of diagnoses out there that people assume is normal. ADHD, ADD, anxiety. These are not healthy, normal. These are trauma response. I had trauma, and this is what my brain said it meant, and this is now how I behave in the world. And because I do it all the time, it's my normal, but it isn't healthy nor good for me, and it's not me being connected. I don't have trust. I don't feel safe, and I don't feel love. Okay. I still think you need a hero journey, Stephanie, because you're spending a lot of time in different areas, and you can be one and done. One and done for the awareness. Integration is going to be a different story. Integration is habit and how you show up and what you do or don't do and what you allow and don't allow. And that needs to be looked at. Owning how do I do the things to myself that keep me in this state? And how do I decide that I don't want to do it any longer? And it means change, guys. It means change. And Stephanie's dealing with cancer for the 4th time. And that's why we're having this conversation, in case you're wondering why I've gone so far from manifestation. Or, I mean, it's all connected because Julie, who's here right now with us live, is also doing the rewire. And when we talked about which group she should do this year, she thought that, doing the other one, which is more about manifestation. And I said, but she's a really great manifestor already. Again, go back to temperature and your big leap and your upper limit. You have an upper limit. Stephanie, you have an upper limit. You don't know what it is, but you have an upper limit. And that's part of understanding, where do I not allow in more love, joy, success, and freedom? How do I do it, and why do I do it? And how do I expand past that? We can only manifest what we are. You cannot manifest past your own frequency. So if you can't match the frequency of what you want in every way, shape, and form, then you don't get what you want. So it could be that simple, Steph, that you're focusing on the negative, or focusing on the disease, or focusing on and you are afraid. But again, I think to get over the fear, I really still go back to the journey aspect, because you need a different perspective. You're still in real world life of like this 3D reality. We're all going to transition, and trust, safe, love. Yes, you have to feel safe, and feeling safe means I have to trust. And most of us don't trust. That's just part of life, but that's part of why we're here, is to learn this, is to do it, is to experience it, and to put ourselves in situations where we grow into being forced to learn it. Most people aren't getting these lessons. You work in your normal daily life. You're not bumping up against these lessons. No one's helping you to take each situation that you're going through and making it, here's how this affects your life right now. This is why this is important right now. This is why this lesson is important for you. I'm reading a book that Doug's cousin gave me when she was here, when they were here for Hanukkah. They stayed, and it's called Group, and it's a fiction. I don't read a lot of fiction, but it's a fiction book based on a group therapy. And I've I am enjoying it. I'm reading it because basically all my groups are kind of group therapy. So I kind of wanted to see the differences in their groups. They have no structure. Like, there's not any, I don't hear anything about reading any books, doing any exercises, owning any shit. Like, they just come and talk. And even though there's changes and growth happening, it's taking years and years and years and years. And they don't even know that they're getting any better because they have no benchmark of where they're judging it from. And the work that we do here, and the work that I help all of you do, and I'm here to help you with, is to have a baseline of an understanding of what you're bringing to the table, so you know what's changing, and you know why you keep ending up in the same place. You can't fix the same problem. No, you can't fix the problem with the same mind that created it. Until we change, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Wayne Dyer. So there's the mental component, which shapes our emotional interpretation, which shapes the way that we feel about it. They're all necessary, but at the end of the day, it is about how you feel, not about what you think. It's about how you feel. And we have to change how we think in order to change how we feel. So, and this, this gets more fine-tuned, but notice if you can, that sounds like, Steph, if you know that if you're angry, well, anger is really sadness or fear that you're unwilling to deal with. Yes, you can be angry, but really what's underneath the anger, if you're sticking with anger, it's because all the fire part of you it's comfortable in anger. Anger makes you feel like you're in control. Anger is kind of a lie. Yes, we can be angry, but it's a knee-jerk response from the ego. Okay, Steph, read The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. I have it over there, so I'm not going to get up and go get it, but that's a good book. I mean, even just the first couple of pages, the first law of potentiality, right there, that chapter. I mean, I'm really savoring this book because I read it 20 years ago or whenever it came out, and it's been sitting on my shelf ever since. But in the Radiant Sacred Circle, we're doing some stuff, and I pulled it back out again, and I'm like, whoa, like it's, oh, here's a card for you. I pulled a card today for myself, but I want to share it with everybody here because this is part of it. Yeah, this is for you, Steph, but this is for everybody. So I pulled, We Are the Hathors, and I want to pull this, and I'm going to also do this tonight for maybe I'll just wait to do this tonight. I also have Spiritual Bypassing by Robert Masters. That's such an that word makes me laugh too. Anyway, spiritual bypassing. I understand what it means. But that there's also a level of, I'm just in denial. But there's still a truth that someone feels. Anyway, sorry, that's a rabbit hole I just went down. Tonight is a full moon in Leo, or today. And for anyone that's here and not a part of it, I have a group called Empower You. It's a membership group. And like I said at the beginning, we have three gatherings about a month. I know, talk about bypassing emotions, right? You ignore them and don't deal with them. Most people do, because it means you actually have to take action and change. And most people don't want to change, but you have to change for anything else to change. You have to let go of things. You have to stop doing things. You have to start doing things. So it's going to be different for each person. But anger is always the lid on the boiling pot of fear or sadness. Anyone that's always angry is really sad or fearful, just doesn't want to go there because you feel out of control. So you have to get comfortable with feeling out of control, but also understanding what it is that you're really afraid or that you're really sad. So you have to be with that. You know what? I'll put it in Empower You because it's over there. And I don't know if I know the exact, if I'm saying the title right, but I'm here to remind anyone who's Empower You that tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific time, we are doing a full moon in Leo ceremony. So I would love for you to come. For those of you that are in Empower You, if you're interested, it's a very inexpensive membership. And you can quit at any time if you do it month to month. But anyway, 5 o'clock live, we've got, and it's on Zoom, and we do practices, and we're going to really dive into what this full moon means for you. It's not a time of manifestation. It's a time of releasing. It's time of acknowledging what's not working. It's time to let go of what's not working by acknowledging that. And we do some processes around there. Jonathan, let's see. I'm blocking myself from getting momentum of growing my energy healing practice. I'm sure my core wounds play into it, but I also need to spend more of the day in a higher frequency. And that's, yeah, definitely. Right. We start with, it's always about how I feel. So start with, I'm practicing these things. Now, how do I stay in a better feeling place? Does it mean denying when negative emotions come up? No, of course not. One of my members in the Rewire asked me today about, she's heard me say on podcasts that all tears aren't like, there are no tears of joy. And to explain that, and I'm not going to go into that here. But there are emotions that we have. Every time you see something and interpret it, if it's not love and joy and freedom, and most of the time it's not, we have little, like, imagine it like gas or energy, like little energetic bubbles that get created when we have a thought that is about something that we don't like. It could be for us. It could be for someone else. It could be fear. It could just hit a core wound you don't even know about. And all of a sudden you have this emotion, this energy that's been created. And if we don't let it out, then we hold it in. So what happens over time is that we have this negative momentum that's underneath what we're trying to do. So it's this, we try to put a Band-Aid on top of a very broken system, if you will. And so it's not going to fix it. And I want to go in and fix the things too. So, but we start off by seeing how high can I get? how fast can I bounce back? How quickly can I deal with my emotions and process them? Because it's not about ignoring them. It's about understanding that any negative emotion is just a signal that a need is not being met. You have a need, it's not being met. It's no one else's job to get your need met. It's your job to get your need met and to ask for help or support to get the needs met. But all negative emotion is just a mirror of a need not being met or a core wound that your brain is interpreting. So that gives you something to do. So you have contrast or negative emotion. Well, then you got to do something about it. You got to know what it is and what it's for, and then take care of it. And when you take care of it, it goes away. I had a guy on the show months ago about his anxiety program. And one of my clients, I don't know if she did it, but she looked at it and he had sent her, I'm just looking for it. He had sent her some emails and I never got them because he didn't share them with me. But it was basically like it was all about getting your needs met. I'm like, oh, I've been doing that for years without knowing. Oh, here it is. So the feelings and needs list. Start right here, Steph. Circle what's not being met. Start to get your needs met. Like this is where, and John, I don't think you have this, but I will share it with you later. It's on one of the podcasts, but I don't until I talk about it. Oh, did I talk about it? I did. I think I talked about it on last week's podcast about the biggest, the most important manifestation of all, right? Is your emotions. Well, here's the list. And, anytime you have negative emotion, you have a need not being met. It's really simple, but we don't practice taking charge of our own stuff. And so we get victimized and then we don't try to make sense of it. So then we ignore it and then it doesn't go away or we distract ourselves. I would want you to fix the problems, clean up the basement, get these things met, everybody. Okay, good. Yeah. So we first start with just how much love, joy, success, and abundance can I allow in today, universe? Let's see what I'm going to accept. That's why at the beginning of this, I was talking about how this week, 2 days ago, Monday, our neighbors basically bought us dinner. Like all of us went up to San Luis Obispo and we went to this steakhouse and they bought us this very expensive dinner that I didn't hesitate to say, thank you. I didn't expect, I had a feeling they would. And then when my neighbor the other day said, I'm going to take you guys to this dinner that I don't think I haven't really figured out yet. I'm like, yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes, I will accept. Yes, I will accept. But how many of you people try to give you things? You go, oh, no. Oh, no, I can't take that. Oh, that's too much. Stop doing that. So if you can't receive what the universe is trying to give you already, then that's where you start. But Jonalyn and everyone else that's listening and in the replay here, the whole practice that we're doing here is how do I just enjoy feeling good? How many hours can I spend just feeling good? And what can I help myself to get there? Whether it be choosing things. I took a bath before this. My hair is wet. My clean lady was here this morning, but I'm like, I'm going to take a bath because I love my baths and I needed to wash my hair. And I sat in the bath, I laid in the bath and read. I redid my whole bathroom so I could have a nice bath. I mean, my bathroom is very important to me, but next, like having the music on and like making a nice breakfast or whatever it is I'm going to eat next. And then when you find that you can sustain a better feeling for longer, you will have moved the needle on your temperature gauge. When you get to the place where, and then you will allow more in, but when you get to the place where that temperature gauge starts to kick in again and you start to self-sabotage, then you go, oh, I'm not comfortable receiving more love, success, joy, and abundance. Oh, why not? Well, these are where your core wounds are. These are where your upper limits are. These are where these beliefs come in and stop you from passing forward, moving forward. And these are things that can be fixed, but you have to be willing to do the work and willing to show up and willing to invest in yourself because you are the most important thing in your life. And you will always be the most important thing in your life because without you, nobody else gets served. Without you, no one else gets taken care of. Without you, everyone around you. And one of the clients is coming to the couples retreat who's in the Rewire. Her husband told her to tell me thank you like a week ago. She said, my husband says thank you because the work she's doing here is affecting everyone else around them. Their entire family is being affected by her new frequency and her raising her level of what she's like, how she's taking care of herself, how she's investing herself, how she's showing up for herself, how she's stretching herself, because she didn't even think about it before. And now she's thinking about it, and it's affecting everybody in a positive way. So that's why we do this challenge, is to start get that momentum going. And then the question becomes, can you keep it up? And what do you need to keep it up? This is a time to practice, like going to the gym. Which exercises work the best for me right now? Which are giving me the most results? And you'll do them until you plateau, and then you'll find other things to do, or you'll take a break and do something else. And, we'll do another challenge again. I can't tell you when, but, I do them a couple of times a year. But I just want to remind everybody, it's really the most basic thing, which is why a lot of cancer patients and people, don't really work well in this environment with me, is because then you oversimplify and say, it can't be that simple. It can't be that simple, that it's just feeling good. But feeling good and cleaning out the basement. I'm going to make that two parts. When you attempt to feel good, does it resonate? Are you really feeling good, or is it just hiding all the pain underneath? How can we heal the pain and feel good at the same time? They both can happen. But yes, when you start to allow yourself to just be happy and feel good. So Jonathan, thanks for that. And I forget, was that on an email? Because I need to change it. They used to be 30-day. When I started this back in 2017, they were 30-day challenges. And then I stopped doing them for many years. And then I brought them back last year. I didn't want to do 30 days again. It's too long. I provide enough free things that I don't need to doing 30 days free with people. The podcast is free, and I have many of them. And then we're doing this. So I invite people to come in to Empower You, which is the membership group, which is, again, very affordable, super cheap every month. And you can leave, you're not locked into anything. You get 2 months for free if you sign up for a year, which is, less than $250. So anyway, it's just, so I have people put this together, and that's why it was originally 30. Really trying to stay aware of the present moment. I really need to practice. I'm going to put this up on the screen. I'm really trying to stay aware of the present moment. I really need to practice feeling these positive emotions. I like the feeling good and healing the basement. Well, yeah. And you have a lot of stimulus that will be easy for you to go back into. Just think momentum. Where's my momentum? Is it a positive momentum or a negative momentum? You're not going to pivot from negative to positive on a dime, but coming back to neutral. So things like meditation, taking a nap, having a state change. There's a podcast called Pattern Interrupt. I don't know what number it is. It was probably 2019. I don't know. Anyway, if anybody wants it, send me a private message through Facebook and I'll find it for you, because I have no idea what number it is. But Pattern Interrupt. And I go over many different ways you can pattern interrupt, which basically is another way of saying momentum shift. So I'm going to stop the negative momentum with a pattern interrupt so I can reset and then go to neutral and maybe start to climb the scale. Can I add, I'll post, there's a Abraham vibrational scale image, and Mandy just cleaned it up because she printed it and put it on her refrigerator, but I will put it in this challenge, in the 14-day challenge. I'll post it as a post so people can see it. And well, use it. Just use it. Are you on the positive scale or are you on the negative scale? And then if you're on the negative, how do you move from really bad to, could I share a screen? Maybe let me see. I don't know. I know I can. Media assets. I probably need to do it next time. I'll just put it in the Facebook group. That will be easier. And then you guys can even just have that. So, anyway, but it's just deciding, if you look at the scale and see that I'm at, let me pull it up. So I'm not just talking about this. If you're, because they're like numbered, and even if you're say you're in depression, and depression is feeling powerless. Depression is, let's look at what that is. How do and really anything up the scale is going to be better. Even if you get mad, anger is great when you're in depression, because anger feels good compared to feeling powerless. Anger means you feel powerful, and depression means you feel powerless. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find it. So anyway, if you just inch up the scale a little bit, if you go from, like I said, so depression to anger is great. You don't want to stay at anger. You want to move from anger to boredom. You want to get to hope. Where everybody wants to get to is hope and relief. And then from there, we can move quickly up the scale. But again, if you've been practicing, if you have momentum around depression, you have momentum around anger, you got to change momentum. And one thing, one time a day is not going to make a difference. It's not going to help, if that makes sense. So, okay, I see what I did. Let's take that off. Okay. You act like this is like the first time I'm back to this. It's been a while. All right. So let's wrap this up. Thank you all for coming and playing with me. Again, the invitation is if you are in the 14-day manifestation challenge and you would like to participate in tonight's full moon in Leo ceremony at 5 p.m. Pacific time. This is how you get there. jjfilzanes.com/EU. That's Empower You. And again, we have a nice group of people that show up. It is recorded if you have to miss it. The moons are all very timed. So if you come to a new moon, you want to watch it within the first 24 hours after we do it. If you miss it, same thing with the full moon, because this is when the energy is high and it's a good time to access the things that you need to access at this full moon. And I will teach you that tonight. We will go over what being full moon in Leo is and what that means for you. And I can tell you one thing, it's about stepping into your power and being center stage in some way, shape, or form. So make sure that no matter what you do, that you honor your own full moon in Leo today. You're welcome, Steph. All right, everybody. The closing party for this 14-day challenge is February 20th, next Thursday. There are 2 time slots. I hope you guys can come to one of them. Pick one or both. Come play with me for both of them. And I'll see you inside the Facebook group. Today is a day 6 tab. So under the day 6 tab, make sure to check off and put all the things that you did today or the things that you manifested today or any questions that you have so that I can answer them there. All right. And for those watching in the replay, I'll see you in there later.